successful? What are the things to be done? So I'm going to give you a short 7-step strategy on how to package your school, how to make your school successful. And if you follow these 7 steps, then I'm sure you're going to be super successful. Hello, my name is Amol. I'm the Managing Director of Shamrock and Shamford Group of Schools. We are a chain of 650 preschools, primary schools and K-12 schools. And over the past 30 years, we've helped more than 600 entrepreneurs, with most of them with no background in education, run successful schools. So good to have you here. If you want to make your school successful, then I'm sure you're going to learn so much from this video. So what are those 7 steps? Number 1 step is, first of all, focus on your target parent. What kind of parents are you going after? When I ask people what is your target audience, they say, sir, anybody who pays the fees. That means you're not talking to anybody. That means that anybody means nobody. That means you're just shouting out in the dark and you're hoping somebody will listen to you. It doesn't work like that. Focus on a particular group of parents. This could be example, could be working parents, could be professionals, could be businessmen, could be housewives. Look at kind of audience that you want and focus on them. That is number 1. Number 2 step is understand that what are the problems that these parents currently have. So what problems do these parents currently have which are not being resolved by the current school? So whatever schools their children are studying in, what are the problems that they still have? Understand them. See, that's why you need point number 1. You cannot solve all problems for all the people. That's not possible. If you go after a particular audience, then you know what problems they are facing, because currently one school system, all schools are very similar and they are trying to solve problems for different kind of people. Different kind of people cannot have the same solution. So similarly, you should not try to be everything for everybody, because you cannot solve that. Instead, go for a niche and find out what their problems are. But before going ahead, always check that number 3, are there enough such people? Because one mistake you might end up making is you go after a small niche, but there are very few number of people like that. There might be very few professionals, very few businessmen in your area. So look at the kind of parent population you're going. It could be a community, it could be a religious community, it could be a professor or profession, however you want to divide the society. But ensure there are sufficient people like that you're trying to address, whose problems you're trying to solve. Then look at the existing schools and how are they solving the current problems, and ask yourself, which problems can you solve better than everybody else? What are the problems that you can solve better than everybody else? If you think that you know them, you understand them, and these are the problems which I can solve, which are not being solved by the current school system, then you move forward. And then you can write down, number 5 is you write down the 5 ways in which your school is better than every other school. So when somebody from your target audience visits your school, you can give them something very crisp, that these are the 3 ways in which our school is better than everybody else. This is why my school works better than everybody else, because see, you cannot be everything to anybody. And when you focus on a small audience, does not mean that other people who are outside the audience, the target audience, will not join your school. They will, because it will resonate with somebody. So for example, if people want children to speak confidently in English, this is one of their basic requirements, and the current schools are not solving that, then maybe just focus on that. Because the current problem is, if you look at the websites of most schools, look at the prospectuses, the brochures of most schools, they almost look like a copy paste of each other. It's the same, people have just picked up brochures, prospectuses, copy pasted content. Everybody talks about good teachers, all-round development, sports, extracurricular, and parents find it very difficult to differentiate. In fact, parents don't go looking with 5 prospectus and start comparing, okay, this one has school has 3 points, 4 points. Be crisp and clear. 3 reasons why you are better than anybody else for that target audience. That's it. Not 5, not 72 points, just 3. And if you can do that, it just clicks with people. You don't have to try and be everything to anybody. These 3 will form your USP. So, and they should be so clear, so easy to understand, that even if somebody wakes you up in the middle of the night, you should be able to rattle out these 3 points. Because sometimes people come up with very fancy statements like a mission statement. Don't do that. 3 points which you know, your teachers know, your whole staff knows, and which reflects in everything you do in your school. And these 3 points will become the guiding light for all decision making for all your staff as well. Because you can always know what we stand for. This is what we stand for. Now suddenly with these 3 points, the whole school is aligned. That means whatever promise you're giving based on these 3 points, people will deliver that as well. So that is that. Then you have to decide, you've got your message clear, this is what you do very well, you've understood that. Now the challenge is, how do you communicate this to the audience? So, but your audience, since you have a focused audience, you're not talking to anybody, you need to understand their behavior. Make a fictitious couple, a parent. Think, where do they shop? Where do they go on weekends? What kind of applications do they use? What kind of softwares do they use? What kind of social media do they use? What kind of cars do they drive? And accordingly, wherever they go, you need to be visible there, and you should be able to visible, and with your three reasons why your school is better than everybody else, it will click with them. And you decide which platforms to use. Are they on Instagram? Do they spend more time on Facebook? Are they professionals, so LinkedIn will work better? Understand online and offline. There's no need to think, oh, I'm going to go only online, only offline. You have to think, wherever your target audience is, you need to be there so that you can reach out to them. Otherwise, if you don't tell them how great you are and how you solve their problems, you're actually depriving that child of good education. So you need to put in your best efforts to ensure that you're able to communicate, and communicate in a manner where whatever you're spending, you should get more in terms of fee than what you're spending, and that is a sustainable way of growing. If you spend more and you get less, you will run out of money. So it's very, very important that you understand your communication strategy. Then finally, decide the fees that you're going to charge in terms of, I've got some other videos on how to decide the school fees, you could watch them. So how do you decide the fees for your school which can sustain your school? Because you cannot go around, if it's too high, people will reject, say, why are they asking for so much money? If it's too low, then that means either you'll be hiring low quality staff, you cannot be charging less and giving more. That's not sustainable for any organization. So either you'll be compromising on the quality of staff, or you might go around with a begging bowl, asking people for money. You cannot make your school dependent on charity. See, charity, you might have a windfall one day, next year you don't have any funds. The teachers who are teaching in your school, their households are dependent on you. They are trusting you to arrange the funds for their salary. So let it not be based on whether somebody gives some money or not. Your school should be self-sustaining. That means it should be able to pay off the salaries and keep some sample money, some buffer for renovation, for upgradation of the school. It's very, very required. So decide finally what fees you can charge. I hope with these 7 steps you can understand that this is the 7 steps. Let's go through them once again. Number 1, identify your target audience. That is number 1. Number 2, identify what are the pain areas that parents have, your target audience. What are the pain areas that parents have? Are there enough of such parents? Because you don't want to go after a segment and it's too small a number. So are there enough parents like that? 4th, which problems do you solve? Will you solve better in your school, through your school, better than everybody else? 5th, then you have to write down 3 ways in which your school is better than everybody else. 6th is you have to decide on what kind of communication will do. How will you communicate to the target audience about your school? And 7th, you have to decide the fee for your school that you can sustain yourself and give amazing value for money. So I hope I've helped you with this question about how to make your school successful. I do have a webinar on how to run a successful school, which is immensely popular. Please do subscribe, go and click on the link below. I've given the link in the description on how you can register for it. It's absolutely free of cost. You'll have an amazing time. If this video helped you, then please don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon, so that whenever I make a new video about opening a school or some things that I can share with you based on my knowledge, you'll be the first one to be informed. And of course, if you like this video, if you benefited from this video, don't forget to click on the like button so I know that you liked it. It will encourage me, motivate me to make more videos like this. And if you have any questions about opening a school, please ask in the comments and I'll try and answer them in my subsequent videos. Wish you all the best in your dream project to open a successful school. I'm sure you'll be very, very successful.